So, politics trap. You can see a lot of the notes here, but similar to the movement trap, it's basically the same game. It's world wrestling entertainment. They're the owners of the companies who have the power and the money. Then there's the top wrestlers who work for the owners and have some money, some power, a lot of fame. Below that are the average wrestlers who have less of the same. And at the bottom is the audience, who wrestlers refer to as marks. Marks meaning suckers, because wrestling originally promoted itself out of the carnivals. And it's not a perfect analogy, but it's pretty close. Because in wrestling, the fighting is choreographed and the outcome of the match is predetermined before it goes live. When I was growing up, a lot of people thought wrestling was real. They've become more open about it lately, but for 40, 50, 60 years, they sold to the public that it was actually real. This was before the UFC and stuff like that, so many people actually believed it. And although it's choreographed, the outcome's determined by what the owners want and the bookers and how successful the wrestlers are at backstage politicking to make sure that their characters win. And so the actual real fighting is going on backstage so that that guy can get his character to win and get more money and fame, things of that nature. So the overt fighting is scripted for the marks, where the real fights happen backstage, and that's very much what politics is like. I mean, it's not 100%. I'm not one of these people that think, Trump was allowed to be elected and Hillary wasn't. No, I think the two parties are locked in a vicious war, both overtly and covertly, but there's so many machinations going on behind the scenes, backstage, where so much of it's negotiated. There's so many things that the candidates can't know about each other, but they can't say in public because it would affect too many powerful people. And I think it's very similar to pro wrestling. So we really only get to see the overt battles, right? You can hear about the covert battles if you're reading the right sources in the alternative media, but honestly, most of them are gatekeepers. If the guy has more than 5,000 subs, he's probably working for someone, in my opinion. And whenever I fall down the political rabbit hole, I end up in pain over things I can't control. You can't control anything. The minimum buy-in for the seat at the table is $1 billion or an army, and you'd still be poor compared to the trillionaire families who've been powerful for hundreds, if not thousands of years. We're talking about the Vatican, the royal families, the powerful banking families. You could be a billionaire and you're still nothing to these people. So you're voting, you're commenting, you're protesting, you're spreading awareness are going to have no effect at all. I know this because I know how few people will actually buy and watch this course compared to the billions of people on this planet. And unless you're financially free, you really don't have time to be fucking around pretending you're a politician. That's not to say that you can't make active change in the world, but if you look at the kind of change that God actually wants us to make, it's the kind of change of loving God, loving our brothers and sisters, being kind and forgiving, doing charity. If we look at Christ as the perfect example, he wasn't building a political movement. If anything, he rejected every political movement. And he spoke purely from the Spirit and purely from spiritual principles and acted in a purely spiritual way. And so if you are going to take a cause to a degree in addition to, your health, wealth, lifestyle, and fitness, have it be the spiritual cause. Have it be charity. Have it be spreading the gospel. Have it be helping others and building up your karma for the afterlife. And that is you might not make big change. You might make big change. It's only for God to determine. But if everybody had that mentality, we wouldn't have politics and ideology. We wouldn't be able to be manipulated by these people, because everyone would be living from their heart and from the Spirit. So they call these people the ruling class for a reason, because they are a different breed of people. The classes being the most intelligent, violent, ruthless, wealthy, deceptive, connected, calculating, brave, and lucky. And their descendants, who are often not all the above, but reap the benefits because of their bloodline. And their goal is always and has been to rise to the top of the pyramid and pimp on the rest of the population. And that's our past, present, and future. Okay? Problem is people. As long as people want to rule and others want to be ruled, we'll always have rulers. If everyone was happy, high IQ, kind, spiritual, and well-adjusted, we wouldn't need or want to be ruled. People would smile and wave to each other on the streets, and life would be gentle, peaceful, and crime-free. It'd actually be incredibly easy to be happy, but many people are selfish, stupid, greedy, and we have the world that we have now. And, they say that we have the rulers that we deserve. Maybe not what you and I deserve, but what the majority of the population deserves. How else could we have had two candidates for presidency in America in their late 70s who probably don't know how to work email if people were actually intelligent? The type of candidates we'd have would be rocket scientists. So that's your world. It's a pyramid. It's a food chain. It's how it is and how it probably always will be. And that's why Christ told us that Satan is the prince of this world. Okay? Satan is the prince of this world. And who's at the top of the world? Politicians, banking families, military-industrial complex. By supporting these movements and politics, you're feeding into that. You're giving it attention. And that's not the way. Okay, politics is programming and propaganda. In every case, at all times, with no exceptions. No exceptions. You did not see me make one post about Trump and I've been doing this since 2012. But you probably saw a lot of other guys in the men's self-improvement movement jump on that train. Because I knew what that was. I know what all of them are. It's all the same. No politics, with no exceptions. Okay, they tell you should care because politics affects you, and it's true that politics does affect you. But you don't affect politics, and you never will. That's why you need to focus on controlling what you can control, which is your health, wealth, relationships, lifestyle, all the aspects covered in what I teach. And if you want to make change beyond that, help the homeless. Give money to your family members. Give money to your church. Commune with God. Ask God how else you can help. This is the way to make real change that you can bring with you, that makes you feel good in this life and will help you in the afterlife.